make a quilted Christmas tree skirt. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. We've made our Christmas stocking from our quilt. Now we're gonna make our tree skirt. I folded my quilt in half and then in half again. So in half and then in half again. And I cut out my template. Now I cut it from the pattern that's at hometownquiltcompany.com, but you could also take a string and make you a semicircle and then cut from there and then cut out the piece that's gonna go around the base of your Christmas tree. Now you have one big circle, but you don't have an opening. So I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna cut up only one side of it, because traditionally we want the opening maybe on the back of our tree, but definitely not the front and the back. So now this is what my tree skirt looks like. Just like this. Isn't that precious? So now all I'm gonna do is go and add some double fold bias tape. Now this is the bias tape that's linked in my Amazon storefront, that's linked in the caption if you're looking for it, and it's under Quilt Coat Supplies. So you're just gonna open it up and open it up again. It's called double fold because that's exactly what it is. It opens up and up again. So it folds and folds in again, double fold. Now we're gonna open it up and put this next to the raw edge of our tree skirt, and we're gonna sew all the way around, and then we're gonna come back and sew it down just like this. Now I'm choosing not to put any ties on the back of mine because it's kind of heavy from the quilt. If you want ties, add those now. And if you don't want to do bias tape, all you have to do is zigzag around the outside and you have a fine finished edge. Or you could come through and add some trim, a ruffle, some lace, whatever you want. I'm gonna do bias tape on mine, but I can't wait to see the ones that you create. So where I started at, I'm gonna fold it in so that when I come back and tuck it into there, it'll have a pretty finished edge. Actually, I'm gonna start it right here at the end. Just like this, and I'm gonna sew right in that crease, and then after I'm finished, I'm gonna fold it over and sew it on the other side. Easy, easy, and you have the most precious quilted tree skirt ever. Now I'm just sewing it with a straight stitch, back stitching when I start and when I stop, because my grandma said so. So when I got to the other end, I just went in one big circle around the bottom of my skirt. I cut it off about that much longer, and I folded, actually about that much longer, and I folded it back in so that it's pretty. And I'm gonna back stitch that too. So now this is what I have. So I'm gonna fold it over just like this, and this time I'm gonna sew as close to this edge as I can, all the way around. And then we're gonna do the two sides of the opening and the round part of the opening. Okay, so if I had it to do over, if I were starting this tutorial again, I would work from the inside out. So I would do around the neck of the Christmas tree skirt, and then I would do down the sides, and then I would do around the bottom. So I'm gonna do the neck part, the center hole next, and then I'm gonna do each side of where it goes around the tree, the closing parts of it. But I'm gonna do it the same way, only this time I'm just gonna leave the edge raw right here because it's gonna be covered up by the next piece of bias tape. And the piece around the bottom that we did just a minute ago, you can leave it raw too if you do it in this order. If you don't do it in this order, you do need to fold it up so that it will not be a raw edge. But I'm gonna leave this one raw because when I come down the sides, it's gonna cover that up. And I'm just going around and stopping, that's it. And then I'm gonna do each side individually. Now, when I come down the sides, I am gonna fold my piece of bias tape over to get started because this is gonna be the finishing piece right here, and I don't want it to be a raw edge. And when I get to the bottom, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna fold it up because I wanna make sure I don't have a raw edge when I'm finished. And I'm gonna put bias tape on each side of the back, and then we'll look at our tree skirt. Maybe, if I had some thread. Y'all, look how sweet this is. Now you have a Christmas tree skirt that matches your stockings, and one for you, your mama, your sister, your aunt, and everybody else you know. And the beauty of this is you can make this template, fold your quilt in half and in half again, and you can make your Christmas tree skirt as large as you want. You can use your current tree skirt as a guide if you want to. Just lay it on there and use that to trace it. I'm super excited to see the ones y'all make. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.